Salutations one and all, you may call me Enigma, and welcome to my crack at the 3-color challenge. As you can see here, I'm doing random number generating, and I basically just counted from left to right for the numbers. So first color here we got a gray, which is, you know, interesting to start with, and then we got a dark purple. So doesn't seem to have the greatest synergy. And then we got this grayish, turquoise-ish color. And I immediately thought of the fish people from the cove in Darkest Dungeon. So I decided to, well, first I jotted them down in the notepad. And then I started drawing, you know, a little fish thing, because I figured we could make some kind of aquatic fellow here. And I was like, that looks alright, but it's not really that interesting. Then I tried to make it, you know, from a head-on perspective, and I really didn't like how that turned out. So then I decided to try a jellyfish, because there's jellyfish enemy in the cove as well in Darkest Dungeon, but I decided to put a little spin on it. It's got eyeballs visible from inside the dome. And then I was like, well, I should probably figure out where I'm going to put these colors. So after jotting the black down with pencil, because, you know, I don't really care right here, this is just figuring out where things are going to go, I started jotting down the colors. I made the tentacles that gray. I made the main part of the dome that purple, and then for the rest, the little details, I did that grayish turquoise. So I decided I was happy with that and would put it into a scene. And still being inspired by the cove from Darkest Dungeon, I decided let's put it in a cove. But rather than, you know, a cave with some water in it, you know, like some pools and waterfalls or whatever, I was just like, how about a completely underwater cave? Mainly less because I thought that would be cool, and more because I thought about it and realized I couldn't really have a good scene with it unless we were in the water with it. So I ended up settling with that. But, you know, I like how it turned out. There is going to be a cut in this video as well, because my iPhone ran out of storage again. Because turns out when you delete things from photos, it doesn't fully delete them, it adds them to recently deleted. So you have to go in there and then delete them again to fully delete them. It's so annoying. But yeah, you don't miss out on too much. So I'm just, you know, developing the background here. With all the coral, that was not inspired by Darkest Dungeon, that was inspired by Minecraft of all things. Because of the... well, obviously the coral in Minecraft in the ocean update. I was recently watching, you know, a video about that. I don't know. But yeah, that was inspiration. And also mainly because, you know, I'm using color, so I can really bring the coral to life here, right? So I should preface that I don't usually use color, so don't expect it to be too stellar. It'll be moderately okay, I suppose. I tried my best. I believe that. But, you know, sometimes my best is not the best, for lack of a better term. So I decided, you know, this will be like a little underwater cave, and then you can see this like opening and see the rest of the ocean. I was initially gonna put fish in the background there, but then I just decided not to, because I was like, there's already so much that I have to line here, and, you know, I don't know how to make a fish look nice. So yeah, that was it for the sketch. So I started lining. I tried a lot more to do some variations in the thickness of the lines this time. So the actual jellyfish itself being the focal point, I lined with my broadest fine liner. Meanwhile, the rest of the drawing, I went ahead and went with a thinner fine liner. Also for some of the smaller details on this jellyfish creature here, I went with the thinner fine liner, as I am doing right now with the circles and the eyes there. And then for the rest of it, you know, I did the thinner fine liner for that as well, just so that the jellyfish itself pops out a bit more, since you are meant to focus on it. I feel like I probably should have framed it more with the rest of the ocean being visible. If I had completely encased it in there, that would have been nice as, you know, cool composition feature. That's something I could probably improve on. Dog wrangling going on in the background. Anyway. So yeah. Not too much to say about the lining. It's just, you know, lining. I'll have more to say about the color, I guess. Oh yeah, when was the cut? I don't even remember when the cut was. I completely missed it. But it was I was lining the tentacles, and then it cuts, and all of them are lined. So the cut's already over. If you missed it with me, then, you know, it's what it's. So far out of the videos I've made, this is the longest drawing I've done. This took me 2 hours. Mainly because of, well, for one, I think I put a lot more detail in the background in this one. And for two, color picking was a whole thing for me. Okay, now we're starting the color. So I know it's, you know, 3-color challenge, use 3 colors for the thing, the main focal point being the creature. But if you can forgive me, I also used white and black. Mainly my idea with it is the 3 colors you get should be the primary colors of the creature. Also, the colors, obviously, look a lot different on the white paper compared to the yellow notepad. But that's fine. I was mainly using the yellow notepad more as a way to map where I wanted the colors to go, not to see what the colors would look like. And, you know, I'm happy with it. I think the creature looks nice. I think it's got a funny little gimmick to it, so it feels unique, even though it's just that one thing. But if you look at most monster designs, it's really usually one specific thing that sets them apart from other things. So, you know, that is just the way it goes. I mean, too many things have been created for you to have something with no ties to another thing, you know? So, the coral. Coloring that in now, that was kind of fun. It was kind of fun coloring in the coral, because, I mean, I really got to think of, you know, what colors can I match together to make something interesting. And it also, you know, made the drawing a lot more vibrant, which was fun. And this was also my first time ever drawing coral, so that was something. I just kind of looked up coral on Pinterest and jotted them down. So they're probably not entirely accurate, but they're neat looking at the very least, right? Kind of a mistake I made was, that I realized later on and stopped doing, was I jotted down the entire base color on the object and then, like, colored over it with the, like, accenting color. And I think here's where I stopped doing that. Yeah, and it ended up blending so much better. So much nicer. So that is something that I'm going to keep in mind from now on, is, because I think with markers you would usually just jot down a base color and then you would just go over the top of it, right? But I guess for colored pencils it doesn't work as well because it's wax, right? Is it wax? I don't know. I don't know things. But nonetheless, it did end up looking way better when I did not overlap. So, something to keep in mind on the old noggin. Yeah. So, I just tried to use as many colors as I can. I don't think I repeated a single color in that, like, second layer, but then on the bottom layer, I was fine for using the colors because there's no way they're going to overlap with each other here. So yeah, I think that does it for all the coral and the starfish and anemone and whatever. So I started doing the rocks. Now, the thing about the rocks that I was a bit worried about was I only have 3 grays, and one of them ended up being used on the creature being the focal point, and it's overlapping with the rocks. So I didn't want those to just kind of meld together, because I want the creature to pop out of the background. So I ended up using my silver, which I am counting as one of my grays because I have that little, as the brighter part on the rocks. Which ended up looking fine. I mean, it was okay. But a bit weird, you know? But I'm happy with how the rocks were. I mean, they're fine. They're okay. I didn't do a lot of shadows or anything. And by a lot of shadows, I mean I didn't do any at all. But you know, it's fine. Once again, I probably could have put more time into this one as well. Although it was 2 hours, and I was a bit upset with the footage thing being annoying. So it felt like it took way longer than it actually did because I spent so much time trying to figure out why photos was taking up a bunch of space when I had like no photos. Decided to make a cool little gradient here for the water in the background. And I think it turned out okay. I mean, I'm no expert with color, so it probably could have been better, but I think it suffices here. And that should be about the end of this drawing. Yep, that does it. So here is the finished piece. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for watching. It was interesting to give color a try, something I don't usually do. So please like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and that about does it. I bid you farewell.